back to another episode of Your Unique Genius. I'm your host, Angela Chinowski, and so excited to have Ryan Lee back in the house this week. Welcome, Ryan.
What's up, Angela? Excited to be here as always. Love talking with you.
Yes, so whether you're listening to us live on Boots on the Ground Radio on Facebook or listening to us by recording, we're super glad you're back and you're here. If you chime in live on Facebook, leave us a comment, ask us a question, tell us that you are here. So Ryan, you've been a guest. We're trying to decide when last year, but sometime you were a guest last year on the show. But why don't you tell our audience just a little bit about you?
Yeah, so I'll tell you kind of what I do now and kind of a little bit where I came from. I'm trying to nail down how to tell someone the elevator pitch. And the other day I was like, you know what I do? I help people make millions of dollars with outdoor lighting. That's what I do.
Oh, I like
So
that.
that's what I do. I help people make millions of dollars with outdoor lighting. And that's not just like a made up number. Like I have clients doing millions of dollars a year, right? And I got started in my journey actually in the window cleaning industry and was doing I just clean windows, trying to get money to get married. And I made enough that summer to get married, which was cool. Later, I was gonna take over the world with window cleaning. I got a marketing degree and MBA, and I was gonna move down to Texas to help my brother blow up this window cleaning business. We're in the hot tub celebrating. I just bought a house down there, our first house or second house, but first house in Texas. And he's telling me about these lighting jobs that he did, 2 landscape lighting jobs for $4,000 each, and I was like, "What?" I didn't even know what that was, and, he told me that that's kinda like a small job, and I was like, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, "Dude, I'd much rather sell a $4,000 lighting job than a $250 window cleaning job. Let's get into outdoor lighting." And literally in the hot tub, we're like, "Okay." And after that, we started an outdoor lighting business, and the rest is history.
I love going back. I know I've heard that story before, but I love going back and listening to how people got into the industry that they're in,
Yeah.
figured out where you're at now, where that came from. And it's so often, even though, now you are really living in your unique genius, being able to help people make millions and in the niche of that. But so often we come to the industries that we're in not on purpose, not as a childhood
Oh,
dream,
yeah.
to be looking at landscape lighting.
I know. Literally 0 people in the lighting industry were ever planning on being in the lighting industry. It's just like this accidental, awesome area of life.
Um, I would say you're right. Maybe not accidentally. I feel like JC has a unique story of that he loved growing up. It's such a childhood memory of the magic and the way it made him feel driving around looking at Christmas lights that I do love that part of it. Like it's one of his most significant memories as a child of tied to that emotion, and then realizing as an adult, as I don't think he definitely didn't plan on getting in the washing business, but to that you could make magic with lights.
Well, and he started in the cleaning industry first, right? The washing, and then bolted on holiday lighting.
And then bolted on holiday lighting. Yes.
That's what I
And
mean. It's like no one grew up going, "You know what? I'm gonna become an outdoor lighting specialist. I'm gonna become a decorator. I'm gonna become a lighting designer." Like, it's just such a weird thing. And then when you discover it, and all of a sudden your memory's flooded with these memories of like, yeah, dude, this is what like this is how my childhood was, or whatever it was. There's an attachment there for sure for everybody. But it's just crazy how we all just ended up here.
and the space has grown. Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, the space has grown and is growing so much of what, maybe we saw before as landscape lighting, outdoor lighting. Um, And it's funny, it's one of those things too, I think, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like once you're aware of the space and see really well lit, well designed outdoor areas. When we were on our honeymoon in Europe, in Amsterdam, like the architecture, and nowhere else. We travel a lot of different places in Europe. We travel a lot of different places. But in Amsterdam, I was like, take a picture of this. This is incredible
That's
architectural
cool.
lighting.
That's awesome. You're a lighting nerd. Congratulations. Well, here to give you some context, I started my business in 2007, the end of 2007, going into 2008. And at the time, I knew nothing, and I got started and I was like, whoa, like there's already some major players. There was outdoor lighting companies already doing millions of dollars, and this was in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. And then there was like tons of landscapers doing it, electricians. There was a ton of people, and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a lot more people doing this than I ever thought. I didn't even know it was a thing. And the thing that I'm grateful for is my ignorance. Like, had I done my research, I'm telling you, Angela, I would have never started that business because I would have been like, oh, it's already saturated. It has been around longer than I thought. And here we are, what, 17, 18 years later, and there's still massive, massive opportunity. So I'm extremely grateful, one, that I was confident, but really that I was ignorant because had I done my homework, the research, the SWOT analysis that my MBA taught me how to do, I tell you, like I would not have started that business. It just didn't make sense. And so hopefully everyone out there, whether you're getting into outdoor lighting or anything, like don't let that fear hold you back. Like it doesn't matter how saturated it is. What's not saturated is well run, red carpet, white glove experiences in any service industry. And if you
Mm,
come into the lighting world and you're doing landscape lighting, permanent lighting, holiday lighting, it could be saturated, but no, like there is very few that are doing it the correct way.
Okay, I want to go back to that. The red carpet, white glove experience in home service and specifically in lighting. So I'm going to write that down because we're coming back
Okay.
to it. But and SWOT analysis. Man, did I person.
No, it's don't do a SWOT analysis. It will talk you out of your dreams. I've made millions of dollars because I didn't do a SWOT analysis. So
That was a good thing. That's the trait of a visionary entrepreneur. Just jump with 2 feet before figuring out if it's a good idea.
yeah, I honestly think that people get like I'm like, dude, I don't know, just to be vulnerable for a minute. Like I'm supposed to be like this leader now of this whole landscape lighting industry or something. I feel this calling, but then I have those days where I'm like, dude, am I imposter syndrome? Like, who am I? I'm just a guy. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know if you guys know, I have a wife and 4 kids, and I have a regular life just like you. And I'm like, the only difference is like I just took action. Like, I don't care that you tell me it's saturated. I don't care that you tell me someone's been doing it 25 years. Like, I don't even like those things are just I don't even hear that. I'm like, I know what I can do because I see a need, an opportunity, and I can help solve that problem.
Mm, I love that. So let's talk a little bit about the growth and what's changed. And it can't just be me that's now seeing it everywhere because I know you and seeing it on buildings, but how much more opportunity that there is, the growth of the industry, how people are paying attention to it, how the different people are using it. I just thought so differently like years ago. And now just the creative ways in lighting up space and like how much different it is and the emotions that it evokes.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things to talk on here. I think one thing is like any industry, and specifically the lighting industry, it's been around a long time, but when there's not as a lot of people in there, there's no one to push innovation. There's no
Mm,
one to push creativity. And like if it's easy, it's easy. So you don't innovate, you don't get creative. And with the advancement of technology, you look at even just, I mean, you look at like social media, what that's done over the past 15 years to expose people to different trends and different ideas. So
mm,
we have people coming into the landscape lighting industry now without like a design background, and they have ideas that are sick. They're amazing. And like that is pushing the old guys like me to like, oh, I guess I probably gotta up my game a little bit. New
mm,
manufacturers are coming in and they're disrupting the old manufacturing style of just like you just need some uplights and path lights. So it's all of it coming together. And I think it is just, I mean, the world's moving so much faster. And the more people you get in it, the more a lot of people are afraid of that, but I like it because that's what sparks creativity and genuine
yeah.
ingenuity. Can't even say that word, whatever that word is. That's what helps these industries grow.
So you talked about how you just leapt in with 2 feet without deciding, checking out the market or seeing if it was a great idea. To our audience that's listening, who might already have a home service business doing in some industry, why should people consider adding lighting or
Oh my gosh,
jumping in?
because this is like, if you have an existing business, okay, and I specifically work with people who have an existing business for this reason, you are sitting on a gold mine, like an absolutely gold mine. And you could be slow and broke right now going, I don't know. I don't see it. Like, I don't have any money in my bank account and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I can't keep people employed, whatever it is. But I'm telling you, if you've been in business for just even a few years, couple years, you have an existing client base that likes you and that trusts you, which is some of the hardest things to do, which is why companies don't grow. They don't know how to find new people that like and trust them. And so if you're thinking, well, I don't know what to do, all you have to do is bring them a new opportunity. And the new opportunity is outdoor lighting. It's landscape lighting, it's permanent lighting, it's holiday lighting. You can bolt this on with a couple emails, texts, and phone calls, and you're in the business. Okay. It's the easiest way to scale. And let's say you're on the other side of the spectrum and you're like, hey, we're seeing growth. We're doing awesome. I think we're going to take and just copy and paste our system and go to a new city. Certainly, I don't want to be the guy that talks you out of that. But an easier way is to literally just bring a new opportunity to your existing client base and make more money. So such a easy way to get multiple streams of income without having to jump into a completely new market or industry.
Ugh. That's such a good point. And I see so many people do that in the industry are like, okay, we already have all the systems around mowing or landscaping. And yeah, we're just going to pick up and we're going to use all the processes and systems that we have and take this over here. Not really realizing this is the moment you should do a SWOT analysis, whether you should do a new city or you should add on and bolt on the opportunity because the cost, the risks, are just so much higher. You have to do everything over it. You might have a playbook for what those processes look like, but all of the big things are start over.
Yeah.
You have to have the second sets of equipment and location. And the hardest thing about starting a business is finding that initial group of people, like you said, that know, like, and trust you in a completely different place where you're a stranger and have no reputation.
Yeah. It's so true. I mean, it really is like starting over in a new market because you don't have a brand there yet. You don't have that recognition, and that's what a brand gives you is the likability, the trust, and all that. So, yeah, we just see so many people coming from like holiday lighting, for example. It's kind of funny because they kind of follow the same path that I did. They got started in the cleaning, washing. Then you find out about Christmas lights, and you're like, holy cow, I can make like a few $100,000 in like 2 months. That's crazy. Like, how does that happen? And then the challenge is they're like, well, I made all that money, but I had to hire all these extra people. So then they lay them off. Then the next season comes, they rehire, and that becomes the next challenge. That becomes the next problem. So then they're naturally thinking, well, how do I keep these main guys busy so I don't have to do that rehire? And that's where landscape lighting comes into play. Like if you're offering landscape lighting year round, now the same, net margins that are possible with Christmas lights are possible with landscape lighting, but you don't have to just wait until October, November, December.
And so we've talked about how it's a great opportunity, and a great additional opportunity to add on to these existing clients. There are already people that know, like, and trust you. And how can you bring them another reason to spend money with you? And you said it was as easy as sending out some emails. Um, but other than that, if people don't know anything about landscape lighting, how can you help them make millions?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you guys just send out an email today, this would be kind of funny for people to do. Just send out an email to people that you announce, hey, we're now offering landscape lighting and see what hits you get. Like that you're gonna get some hits and people are gonna be like, yeah, we were actually gonna just go get that next week anyway, right? But then you're like, well, I don't know how to do it. So you do have to, it's when I say easy, like it might be easy to get the job, but then you got to learn how to design, you got to install, you got to sell it, you got to price it. There's some complexities there for sure, but we make it easy. I mean, dude, we've got our lighting academy. That's online. You don't have to go anywhere. We've got Landscape Lighting Secrets, which is my like, it's like a franchise without the franchise fee. I mean, if you do $1 million a year with a franchise, you're going to pay them 8%, which is 80 grand a year. We're charging a fraction of that. Okay. And we're giving you all like the amazing stuff that you need to succeed. And then of course my expo, we got Lighted Up Expo coming, which is your chance to get like hands-on training. So if you're like, well, I don't know, I've never installed lighting before. Could I even do it? Do you have to be an electrician? You
Mm.
come to the show and we'll show you it's not rocket science. The old dogs in the industry, they don't want you to know this, so they're probably going to give me some hate comments here. But like, it's literally you plug a transformer into a wall, to an outlet, and then that transformer converts it from 120 volts down to 12 volts, which is super safe. You can like cut it, stand in water, touch both sides, and you're not going to die. It's safe for your kids, pets. Like, it's really safe. That's kind of it. You have a transformer, you have wire, you have fixtures, and you have connectors. And we're going to break that down and show you how to your first install is not going to be your greatest. You're not going to be lighting designer of the year, but we want to get you to that level where you can go do your own house, go do your parents' house, your friends, your first couple clients. And after a while, you will become an expert.
You do have such incredible programs. And when people are going to add stuff on, it is simple. Like you said, I think we should have some people do that for a test. That should be a challenge we issue out. Like,
Yeah.
hey, if you have a business, why don't you send out some emails and see what happens?
Well,
See how easy it
honestly,
is
it's
to those first itch.
when I launched Landscape Lighting Secrets, I hired a coach because I had no idea. Like, I know all this stuff, but I don't know. Like, can I teach people? Can I really be effective and help them? How do I model that? How do I set up the program? So I paid this guy tons of money, and he helped me model this. The first thing he did, I thought we were going to get into like the nitty gritty. How do we build a course and how do we do this? The first thing he did, he goes, "You need to sell it to 10 people." And I'm like, "Sell what to 10 people? I don't even have anything." And he's like, "Well, you don't know it's going to work. You need a proof of concept." And I'm like, duh, that's genius. So literally, I said, okay, if I can sell it to 1 to 10 people, I'll do it. If I go to pitch it and I can't, then why am I going to spend a year building something that no one wants?
Oh,
And that's what you guys could do too. So I pitched it to a bunch of people. I got 4 people to be my founding members that gave me money, and I told them I don't have a product yet. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm going to be awesome, and you're going to be awesome with me. And like, it was all transparent, right? But I got 4 people to commit. I said, we're going to start it 6 weeks from now. This is the date, blah, blah, blah. So you guys could do that too with your client base and say, this is what we're doing. This is what we're launching. What's your interest level from 1 to 10? And if you can get 4 people, 10 people, then you probably know it's something that you should pursue.
what a fun challenge. Every time we say things like this, I'm like, I wish I had a client base I could go out and do that with. Anyway,
Everyone should do it and just see what happens. Worst case, you don't hear anything back. I mean, that's not going to hurt.
best case, you got some money to
I
start figuring
know.
out. I mean, now you have a more fun problem to solve than your bank account being empty and these people that you still have on payroll. This is a much more fun problem to solve.
I've had people do this. Okay. They'll send me a message via like Facebook Messenger and be like, I sold a job. What do I do? And I'm like, when you say sold a job, like, what does that mean? They're like, no, I sold the job. It's $10,000 and now I don't know anything. And I'm like, dang, it worked. Like, you're awesome. And so there's so many resources, whether it's my Facebook group or whatever. Like, my goal is not to just make money and take money. I want to help serve you first so that you have enough money to be able to invest in our programs. So any way we can add value, like, you shouldn't just like spend a year building a brand and doing all this stuff and then launching your new outdoor lighting business. Just go and take action, see what works, see what you like. Who knows, maybe you go do 5 installs and you're like, this sucks, I don't want to do it. you know Chances are you're going to fall in love with it and become a lighting nerd and it's going to be amazing. But worst case, it doesn't work.
I love this philosophy, and I haven't heard somebody teach it that way. Like before, like I think in this day, that's one of the things that social media has done. We see these people with these like perfect brands and all this stuff, and we think we have to do it the backwards way, right? That you have the service industry, and before you launch the landscape lighting or before you add Christmas lights, that you have to already do it all first. Like think of the name, get a new logo, get new things wrapped, get your whole package, get
The
all the things
website.
done, website, spend all the money on all of that before you have even went out. And like you said, I see people do all of those things and then they don't like the basics. Like they realize, oops, I do not like getting on a ladder. or,
I mean,
or, or I don't like any single part of this. So why not take some baby steps, sell some jobs, and then come back at it and see like what you like to do of the pieces so that you know the bolt-on brand and program that you want to create.
well, seriously, like if everyone does, and don't just do one job, because like I remember snowboarding. When I learned to snowboard, that first day was almost one of the worst days of my life. It's painful. You hit your head. It's just like, what? People enjoy this? Like it sucked. But the second day was a little bit better. The third day was a little bit better. After a while, I'm like, dude, snowboarding is amazing. If I would have quit on day one when it sucked, I wouldn't have had the joy of the last 30 years snowboarding. You know what I mean? If I would have quit when it was hard doing my outdoor lighting business, when I felt like I was broke, I couldn't pay myself, I wouldn't have enjoyed the millions of dollars and the freedom it gave my family for the rest of our lives. So don't just do it one time. You got to pick a number. Say, I'm gonna do 5, I'm gonna do 10. Go do that. And then see how it goes. And worst case, you might say at the end of it, let's say you did 10 jobs and you're like, I ain't doing this. This is not for me. You might look at it as a waste of like, oh man, I wasted like 2 months and conversations with people and whatever, and maybe lost some money. But now you know, so that when you see me talking about how amazing lighting is for the next decade, you don't have regret going, maybe I should do that. At least you invested to find out what you don't like and what you do like. So even if you come to like Light Up Expo, I'm like telling people, worst case scenario, it was a waste of money and time. You wasted a couple of days. I'm sorry. Like now you know you don't want to do this. We know that that's a high probability not going to happen, but I try to, that's how I live my life. I'm like, worst case, like even when I started my lighting business, I'm like, worst case, it doesn't work. We're going to go 2 years. I told my wife, verbal commitment. We're going to try it for 2 years. Worst case, we hate Texas or we hate lighting or entrepreneurship. And we just moved back. Okay. So we wasted 2 years of our life. But had I failed, I would have been like, dude, at least I know I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm grateful for a job now. I'm grateful to report to a boss. I'm grateful that I make squat in terms of money and have to, put up with this guy. And I would have proved myself right or wrong either way.
That's a wonderful perspective and such a great reminder of like not living with the pain of regret. Um, don't be looking back later wishing this for something that you would have given yourself the chance, or wishing this is something you would have started or taken a chance on yourself 5 years before. So people take a chance, they explore in it. Such a great thing that you're doing in giving people this, lock arms with you with landscape lighting secrets, and like let's lock arms and give you like have a blueprint for success, instead of I'm just going to piecemeal figure out my way into this, which might have been how you did your first service business probably. And figure out
Secrets out.
along the way. But and so many people do the first time, like figure it out. Just take like what I'm supposed to buy off of this space group and this, and piecemeal put it together. You can save time and get on a path for exponential growth much faster. By learning, like locking arms, getting your coaching, getting your program, and knowing how to create that exponential growth quicker.
Without a doubt. And it doesn't matter what, if we're talking landscape lighting, whatever it is, the number one investment you can make is in yourself.
Mm.
And if you're not, and I'm not saying every coach is perfect and every program's perfect, and there's good and bad and all that stuff, but go find your tribe. Go find that community. Go find that person. A lot of these people, like myself, are willing to help you for free at first. Like, even if you just follow their content. Like, I watch your stuff, Angela. I'm like, dude, if someone would not just like watch Angela's stuff, but just implement, like, this is gold, you guys. And the challenge is when it's free, like, it didn't cost me anything, so I have no reason to implement, right?
Yes.
So at some point, you have to maybe lie to yourself and be like, okay, I just paid Angela. She doesn't know me. I secretly stalk her and watch all of her stuff. I don't even like her stuff or comment because I don't want anyone to know that I need help. But I secretly stalk her because we know these people are out there, right? Tell yourself that you paid $10,000 to be able to watch Angela all year long. I promise you'll implement more stuff because there's an element of pain there that you want to overcome, and no one likes to get ripped off. So if you will join these programs, follow these people, learn from their mistakes. I mean, I've failed as much as anybody else. I mean, that's how I got on my thing. And a lot of people will tell you, "Oh, look, failures are good. Learn from your failures." And I've even been guilty of saying that. But you know what's even better is learning from someone else's failure, because you don't have to fail to learn. There are certain things that are helpful, and it is good to touch the stove and know that, okay, that's what she meant by hot, right? That's really hot actually. But I can just also know, like, Angela, she's a smart person. She told me not to touch that stove. I'm not going to do it. As an 8-year-old, I'm probably still going to touch it. But I'm an adult. My mind is developed. I'm over 25. I'm not going to touch the stove. I know enough. I don't need to do that. Like, I've never done hardcore drugs. I don't need to do them. I know the consequences. So why not just learn from other people's mistakes?
You pointed out so many great things in there, and the difference in like looking at content and absorbing it when we know that we've made an investment in it. And I do have to laugh at the secret stalkers. I tell people when you've got to come across this too, when people like know your whole story, have definitely like looked at every single thing in your life and everything you're doing, and you have a conversation with them. You're like, if you're going to get that much entertainment and value, you could at least like,
They
you
don't
could
like it. They
You
don't
could at least
comment.
help the algorithm out. You could at least help the algorithm out and give it a like.
Well, we should plea for that. Like, help, hey, help us help you.
Help,
But
yeah, help us help you. If you like it, help other people like it.
I get it
But
though, because I have a lot of that. Like, I don't like most of the stuff that I see. When I don't hit the like button. I like a lot of the stuff I see, but um it's hard, like, it's hard to admit, and admitting that you need help is literally hitting that, like, when you have these messages about, like, leveling up your life, finding your unique genius and what you things you got to do. If I hit the like button, it's almost like saying, like, yeah, I am broken. Like, I do need help. And I'm not ready to do that, Angela. So I'm just going to scroll. You know, it takes an element of courage just to hit the like button, I think, because then it shows the rest of the world, 4 people like this. Oh, who was it? Ryan Lee? Ryan Lee needs help with his personal life? What? That's at least kind of what I think goes on in people's minds.
that's a great perspective. That is a good perspective. Sometimes we're not even willing to acknowledge that somebody wants to know that like this is content that we're getting help from.
Mhm.
Um, Another thing, like and I'm going to use an analogy to something different, but a lot of times when we're looking for something in this scrolling, we might be getting value out of it, but we're just absorbing content from all different sources. So we know we want to start a landscape lighting business. We know we want to add this as a bolt on. Similar to, say, we have a goal in the new year and we want to do something different with our health and fitness. So I'm trying to build more muscle this year. I mean,
Nice.
I'm not going to, I mean, I have,
Unnatural?
I get to work out next to JC every day and that be my model. And I'm not going to gain that much muscle, but
Yeah, I mean, that guy's beast mode. I feel like I think I probably do an extra 20 push-ups before I see him, just because I don't wanna feel so small. Like, I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna be there? Okay, let me do a couple extra push-ups before I go see him."
I am at the gym the same amount of hours, kids. The same amount. Does not look like it in my biceps. But
Well,
anyway,
you're
we
not supposed to.
we can either, in my goal, keep absorbing content, right? I can find all kinds of people on Instagram that definitely know what they're doing. People that look like my goals of building muscle, that are my age and what I want. And I can read everything that they want to do. I can say I'm going to follow that plan. There is something completely different about not only the investment of money, of I'm going to pay a coach to actually work with me, but the difference in actually working with a coach and the results I'm going to get, like I will get results following these things, writing down a plan, like actually following the plan, going every day, changing what I'm doing in my both the amount of weights that I'm listening, and my macros. Will I get results? I'll probably see some results. Or if I went and hired a coach to work with me personally, that is going to be able to answer my questions, make shifts and adjustment for my unique DNA so that we can get the results. Like there's completely different results there.
Oh,
Um,
big time.
because we all have our own unique needs. And I think so often, even though your program is, this is what this, it has elements that works for people. And we know these are the elements to a successful landscape lighting business. There are so many things in your business that are unique when you have a coach and are with the program that you can make those tweaks for you. And you're not just following somebody else's plan for success.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at it, all the information is out there for free, almost about everything. I seriously, with ChatGPT now, I feel like information is it gets out there. If you want to lose weight, you want to build muscle, like we know how to do that. You want to be in good shape, well, you need to eat right and you need to work out. Like, do we not know that? It truly is getting with a coach, getting with a group, a tribe, because even in my program now, we have people that are like just getting started, right? And have like maybe, I mean, they have an existing business, but in terms of like lighting, potentially $0, right? And they have
Mhm.
people doing millions a year in outdoor lighting. The people that are doing millions a year, you would think like, well, what do they have to learn from these new guys? Well, these new guys come in and they're like, dude, I just scored my first $30,000 deal. And they bring in this energy and this excitement. And that ignites these older guys to be like, wait a minute, I didn't just close a $30,000 deal. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go. What did you do? Oh, I followed up with this and this. So sometimes it's not just being told what to do; it's be reminded of the things we know we need to do or that we used to do and stop doing them.
Mhm.
Just that alone is worth paying a coach. I mean, this last year, I mean, I still have a coach I meet with one on one every week now, but I've spent like about 100 grand in like coaches and communities and stuff like that, and like I have no problem doing that because there's always a huge return on investment on
Oh,
all of these.
absolutely. And you mentioned one that I think is the biggest return on investment, and that's the energy that is in that group, the energy that's infused. You just said from the new blood that's coming in, and being able to be part of a group where whether it's the new person that brings in exciting and is celebrating win, that a winning energy like wins foster more wins, and it's not just the idea of that, it's literally the transference and absorption of energy that you get to be at a different frequency in groups like that. And when you commit to that and you're able to, raise the bar on your energy, vibration, frequency, the things that you're doing are just so much more impactful. Again, back to a workout, like when you're part of people telling you that and are part of that energy, you work out differently. It's with a different sort of energy in your workout and you're going to get different results. Same thing is when you're part of this group, you hear somebody, it's not just about the idea and the belief that this person had sold a $30,000 job and that you haven't done it. It sparks this new energy in you. And when you go out to make that next sales call, you are doing it with a different tone in your voice and a different energy that's going to get different results.
It's so amazing. And like if you're on your own, and let's say I'm like, okay, I'm gonna build more muscle this year. I'm gonna like there's a lot of reasons to quit and a lot of downtime to be like, no one's watching. Like no one's gonna notice if I eat this extra thing or don't do this extra workout. But when you commit the money and the time, you're like, oh, I mean, even now, so this is not part of my coaching program, but I've told the world that I do 200 push-ups a day. Okay. I've now started doing like these 60 like bicycle crunch things. I don't even know what they are, but I just am doing these like new habits, 100 ounces of water a day. I'm like doing this stuff. And I tell everyone specifically about it because I know I'm a weak man. And if I don't, dude, do you think I want to do 200 push-ups every day? No, there's certain days I feel great. Other days I'm like, I don't want to go do that. We're going to do the Spartan races together. I told people I'm doing that. So now I got to run. So I had to run in 8-degree weather the other day and I got to do it again tonight. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I guarantee, had I not told everyone about that, I know the other night, there's no way I would have ran. I was already talking myself out of it, but I had made a commitment, right? And I'm developing this discipline. It's like, no matter what, this has to get done. And discipline is really hard to create on your own. Like I'm
Mhm.
naturally a lone wolf. I just want to do everything on my own. I don't want to I don't want to be in a community. I don't want to do all this stuff, but I need it. Otherwise I lack the discipline. I'll talk myself out of it. I'll do the easy road. I just need it.
I talked myself out of the cold plunge. JC and I cold plunge in the morning, but it snowed here. It doesn't normally snow. It's like in Nebraska here in North Carolina, and there was a layer of ice over the top of the cold plunge, and that was my line.
Nice. Did he do it?
He did it.
Yeah,
He still
JC.
got in there in that, and then went and did a snow angel, and I was like, this isn't fascinating to me. Like I've lived in the snow all my life.
So, do you guys do this every day?
Cold plunge?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
that's
back.
awesome.
We're back on the
Okay,
cold
well
plunge.
now I know, so I'm gonna hold you accountable to it.
Except this is mine. There is okay to be a threshold. Like I do have this small percentage of body, like I get so cold that it's painful to warm up when it's above
Yeah,
a bar. So I do have a bar of what the outside temp, what the water can be, and that's okay. But otherwise, you can hold me accountable.
yeah. No, I
Question
mean,
off topic, and then we'll get back on. How do you do your 200 push-ups? Do you do them all in a row, or do you do like 50 segments? Or
yeah. Well, first of all, I started with just 20 a day because
oh,
I'm not like naturally strong. I don't like working out. I want to work out, but like I see JC, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get jacked, and then I go work out. I'm like, dude, I ain't getting jacked. So like, I know I need to. So what I did, I read the book Atomic Habits, and it talks about this like concept of like, well, yeah, because I would go to the gym. Like if I went with JC, I would like try to impress him, and I would go crazy. Then the next day, I'd be like, I can't lower my arms, like I can't move my body. So I was like, dude, Atomic Habits. I was just 20 push-ups a day, and they're just 20 a day, 20 a day, 20 a day. Eventually, I did 21, then 22, then 25, then 30. So now I'm up to 200 a day, which I'll probably stay here for a while, and I do them in sets of 50.
okay.
So, and there's some days where I'm like, man, I'm tired. I can only get to 40. So I'll do like, 5 sets of 40. I'll just do whatever I can. Um, but I try to do 4 sets of 50.
Do you habit jack them like in atomic habits? Do you do them along with something else, like when you brush your teeth or
I
do?
started to like, yeah, he was like, yeah, as soon as you leave the bathroom, like you feel the carpet, like just go do it. I'm not, at first I did. And that was very important for me because I didn't have like a trigger.
Yeah.
Now it's like, it truly is a habit. Like it's kind of always on my mind. And so I could do them whenever, like if I have an early morning meetings or whatever, and I'm just like, I ain't doing it. I did them. I actually did them. I had like a gap right before this show. I did them right then. So I don't have it a
Okay.
set time of day or whatever. I used to never floss my teeth. The last 2 or 3 years now, I've been flossing every day, and that was all about just leaving the floss right there on the counter where it was visible instead of having to open up the drawer. Like, who would think such a small thing would mean such a thing? But now it's a habit. It's in the drawer. I don't like clutter. So once it's a habit, I don't need those triggers, if that makes sense. Like it's
Yeah.
just like it's already just part of my routine.
Awesome. I'm going to incorporate some, stay tuned. I'm going to
Yeah.
incorporate some push-ups.
But just start small. Like you could do 5 a day. Like it doesn't matter. The idea is to develop discipline and a habit. And if you're like, oh, I'm going to do 200 a day, you're not going to sustain that. It's like trying to do a diet. It's not sustainable. You have to change your lifestyle. So
So,
whatever the habit that you're going to do as small as possible. And the temptation when I was doing 20 and then I was strong and I was like, dude, 20 is easy. I'm just going to do 30. Don't do that. If you want to increase it, do 1% a day, do 21, but don't do 30. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So you want to slowly increase over time so that it's not a chore, so that it's a habit.
mhm. like that. I'm going to say I can incorporate that into my life.
So let me know how many you end up doing a day. Because
Okay.
everyone can do push-ups like anywhere. I
And
was
I
like,
do
well, I
them at
don't.
the gym, I do them as part of a workout, but I love random. One of my mentors taught me about fitness snacks. And push-ups throughout the day are an example of that. How it can, when you create a habit of fitness snacks through the day, how it changes your mood and just by an adrenaline rush.
Nice.
And then it's an automatic, like doing something for yourself, for health, for mental, for adrenaline, for hormone change um, during the day. And so if you constantly just think, oh, I should do fitness snacks, like that doesn't work. I need a habit again. That's like something automatic during the day that does
Well,
all that.
and you do like, a lot of like podcasts and stuff like that. So you could say, hey, before every episode, I'm going to do 10 push-ups.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. I'll let you know how that goes.
That's
Um,
easy to incorporate. Yeah.
it is. All right. Well, we are like barreling on here
Yes.
in time. I knew it'd go fast. We still got to get to home service workshop, but I want to go back to the beginning when you talked about red carpet, white glove experience, and how few home service businesses do that, and how that's part of your program. How you guys talk about that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you got to figure out a way to differentiate yourself. That's like key in any business. And like for me, at first, I didn't know how to differentiate myself. So I differentiated myself on price. I was like, well,
Yeah.
why are these guys charging so much? We only have to charge like half that and we're gonna make bank. Me and my brother are splitting the money and like, dude, we're gonna be rich, bro. Well, the reason those bigger companies are charging those prices is because they figured out what we didn't know is you have to hire a team and you have to have insurance and you have to be legit and you need trucks and all this stuff. So, you have overhead. So that's the biggest thing that I learned is like, okay, you have to start charging like who you want to be, not like who you are today. Because I could never afford to hire an office manager. I could never afford to hire a salesperson or get the next truck or whatever. And it's like, well, duh, you're not charging enough. So, and if you're going to charge a premium price, you can't just like raise your price and charge 500 bucks a light and expect everyone to like say yes. You need to differentiate yourself. And the way to do that is that red carpet white glove experience. So, believe it or not, it starts as simple as answering your phone
Yep.
every freaking time, like within 2 rings. And maybe you know some stats on this cuz I'm telling everyone if you don't have a VA right now, you need a VA, okay? Doesn't matter if you answer your phone every time. There's a VA that can do something else for you, but most people this is their greatest weakness. And they're like, "Oh, I answer my phone, it's no big deal." "Oh, really? What do you do when you're in a sales call?" "Well, I just call them back." Calling someone back is not answering your phone. I don't know if you know that, but these are
Yep.
completely different definitions. So, just answering your phone, just calling back people, being proactive, checking in. Hey, how are you doing, Angela? I know it's been only a couple weeks, but we just wanted to make sure that we over delivered for you with your brand new lighting system install. How's everything working out for you? Like that just a phone. That's just the one kind of first element, but that is the red carpet white glove is like giving over delivering, telling someone like that you're going to take care of them and then even doing more than that.
That customer, whoever you have in that customer service role, which yes, we believe virtual assistant is a great solution for that, and train our virtual assistants that work in home service businesses for this, that they are not only your first step in this white glove experience, but a very most important step, and can add so many layers of your experience. Because in a service that you do, um, most often, everyone, I know you think that you wash the house the best and that your lights are the best, but a lot of times the service that they get, right? The house is clean, the lawn is mowed. I got the lights are right. As long as mistakes aren't made with the service, the overall what the client actually got is the same. The delivered product, unless there's a mistake, the delivered product is similar. And what sets your company apart and what sets their experience apart is how you made them feel in the experience. and at every touch point, and a lot of times that is the person on the phone. The very first time they call, the person that answered the phone, the person that is calling to let them know, hey, just a reminder, we're going to be out tomorrow. We're going to be, our trucks are going to be by your property. This is what we're going to be doing. You can expect to see this many people. We'll be in our shirts. We'll be climbing around, putting the lights up. Just a reminder of that. And then again, calling them that day, making sure everything was good. Happy calls, calling them to get referrals. So often their experience and how you made them feel was how well that person on the phone did with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then, people show up late to appointments or forget about appointments like it's nothing. I'm like, man, it is so easy to dominate in this industry because you just have to do what you say you're gonna do.
Mm.
Like, if you just do that, I'm telling you this, I had so many times, Angela, and I train people how to close deals on the spot, like massive deals, like $10,000, $20,000 deals within an hour. But that doesn't mean I have 100% closing rate, okay? So I would meet with people, they'd say, "It's a lot higher than we thought it was gonna be," whatever it was, right? We gotta think about it. I try to close the deal, I still can't do it. So I would follow up with people relentlessly for weeks, sometimes months, and there was more than one occasion, a lot of people would tell me, they'd finally pick up the phone. They'd say, "Oh, hey, Ryan," and I wasn't calling them for 6 months, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, sorry we didn't get back to you." I'm like, Did you not notice the 86 voicemails I left you and texts and all these other things?" And they're like, "To be honest with you, we loved you. We wanted to go with you, but we hated your price." And I'm like, "Well, okay, I'm not offended. I knew that." But, they go, "We hated your price, and we were trying to go with someone else. We couldn't get not only could we not not only did they not follow up with us, we couldn't even get a hold of them."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Dude," so here I am, like, doing everything I can, and I learned better techniques along the way to get them to move forward and stuff like that. But the point is, like, if you just are relentless with your service, you don't have to be the lowest price. Like, people will be forced to go with you because there's no one else who will even pick up the phone.
Oh, that's such a good point.
That's crazy. It
It
blows me.
is crazy.
Yeah,
People are trying to give you money and you're not answering your phone. Well, as we wrap up the episode, I wanted to talk about Home Service Workshop that we're both a part of as
let's
sales agents.
go.
Lighted Up Expo coming up the end of February, beginning of March, February 26th through March 1st in Orlando, Florida. So let's talk a little bit about this. Why should people come to Lighted Up Expo?
Well, I'm excited to be part of Home Service Workshop. I went to Sales Boost last year. I got the opportunity to speak. I'll be speaking again at Sales Boost. So this is such an awesome opportunity. We came together as show coordinators, and we're like, you know what? People are having a hard time choosing. Like, do I go to Sales Boost? Do I go to this? Do I go to that? And even vendors, it's like, man, how are they going to go to 5 shows? So Home Service Workshop is pretty epic. It's 5 shows in one. So we're talking like one flight, one hotel, 5 shows. Now we have our individual shows. So I have Light It Up Expo. You have Sales Boost. There's $1 Million Admin, ResponsiCon, PWMCA. Well, I want everyone to come to Light It Up Expo. Honestly, like, you could just get a ticket. It's like $1,500 right now, and it gets you into all the shows. So you could go to, like, oh, you know what? I like this speaker at Sales Boost. I mean, Ryan Lee's speaking. I'm going to go to that one for sure. Um, but then maybe I want to bounce around and I want to go to $1 Million Admin, or I want to go to some Responsicon or Lighting Academy. So there's lots of different options there. And that's what's cool about it. So, and if you decide just to come to Light It Up Expo, you're going to come in on Thursday, which is the last day of Sales Boost. So there's going to be networking opportunities. The vendor hall is all shared and stuff like that. So it's going to be an awesome event for everybody.
It is. So incredible. The energy of having all these people in one place. Like you said, when our shows were all in different locations at different times, people had to pick. They couldn't necessarily get away from their business and their family and had to choose which shows they went to. And now it's in one location. And so gives you the opportunity to be where everyone's going to be. You do not want to miss this event, be having FOMO. We talked earlier about how important it is to make an investment in yourself. And that's exactly what this is making an investment in yourself and showing up to get yourself in the room, to make connections, get yourself a tribe, and do powerful things. And don't let all the options confuse you. We were talking about this before this. When you go to the website, you're like, wait, am I getting this hopper ticket? Am I supposed to go to this or this or this? Know that you're supposed to come and reach out to one of us. We can walk you through the options. You can have it all, go to all 4 shows. A great option is going to both of our shows. So you can get a ticket and go to Sales Boost and go to Light It Up Expo. We have those back to back. So you can go to Sales Boost on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Light It Up Expo goes right into Friday and Saturday. So you have 4 days packed full of incredible content. The vendors all there. But whatever you plug into in our different programming, which we are both so excited about, it's just an incredible opportunity to come and make some great connections.
It really is. We have a lot of synergy. We share a lot of the same friends, clients, communities, and stuff like that. So anyone who's going to Sales Boost, stick around for Light Up Expo. If you're coming to Light Up Expo, come a couple of days early. Go to Sales Boost. I'm so excited to do this because I've done landscape lighting lives in the past, and they're specifically for landscape lighting, and they're great. Like, we have tons of demand for it. People are reaching out to me every week still, like, when's the next one? Well, we're not going to do them anymore. And I don't want to say never, because okay, we might. And then you're like, remember on Angela's show, you said never. Like, but this year we're not planning anymore. This is the show. And the reason we're doing Light It Up Expo is because the reality is, it's not, even though I love landscape lighting, it's my one true love. Like, holiday lighting and permanent lighting they're important. And if you're in the landscape lighting world, people are going to ask you to do their permanent lighting, their outdoor lighting. Or if you're in holiday lighting, they're going to ask about landscape lighting. There's just so much crossover. This is needed to happen for a long time, and no one's ever spearheaded it. And I'm like, dude, I guess I'm going to do it. And so that's what this is about. We already have a ton of tickets sold. People are excited. We have tons of support from the vendors. The manufacturers are excited. We're doing a raffle giveaway for Light It Up Expo. So anyone who buys a ticket this month, you only have not that much time left. Get your ticket now. You'll be automatically entered to win the raffle. We have, I don't want to say the number. I'll just say thousands of dollars, because I don't know if it's like $2, $3, $5, $10,000. We have thousands of dollars of raffle items that our vendors are giving away, like $500 Rectech grill. We've got tons of like product gift cards, amazing, amazing things that people are giving away, and just for getting your ticket, you're going to come anyway. So it's going to be an epic show. The networking is going to be amazing, because you're going to have people that are already all stars in permanent lighting. They already have that model down, and you're like, oh, cool. Let me pick their brain. And there's already the all stars in the landscape lighting are there, and the holiday lighting. We've got breakouts. So if you want to bolt on landscape lighting, actually, Andy Schwindler and myself, I decided I'm going to teach. I was going to try not to, but I'm like, I'm going to do it. I love it. So I'm teaching the landscape lighting breakout. We've got a permanent lighting breakout and a holiday lighting breakout. So if you want to bolt on any one of those, you need to be at Light It Up Expo.
It's going to be awesome. So awesome. So like you said, get your tickets now. Get them by the end of the month. Get in that. We'll put in the comments the links. And if you have any questions about tickets or what, reach out to us. And if you're joining us live or listening to this today, we are giving away an all access pass to all of it tonight. You can catch Ryan and I again tonight at 6:30 Eastern on back here on Facebook with the rest of the home service crew, talking about the whole workshop and giving away a ticket.
I actually forgot about that. I didn't forget about the thing, but I forgot about the giveaway. So $1,500 all access pass. Now tickets are, I think, for Light Up Expo, it's only like $550 with the home service ticket. I can't remember how much Sales Boost it is. It's not much more. So
Yeah.
you don't have to spend $1,500 to come, guys. You can just pick one show. But tonight we're going live with all the groups, and we are giving away an all access pass. So you don't have to pick and choose. You just get the whole thing. We're going to give away one for free. We did one last week as well.
Yeah, it's going to be lots of fun.
Heck yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me again, Ryan. Conversation was great as always. And if the viewers want to find you, again, we'll put it in the show notes and stuff like that. But where can they reach out and find you?
Yeah, got a lot of amazing resources. But if you want to get a ticket to Light It Up, just go to lightitupexpo.com. If you want to just connect with me on Facebook, people have a hard time. I guess there's a lot of Ryan Lees. So you can look for the Ryan Lee that looks like me on Facebook, or if you go to Instagram, it's at Landscape Lighting Secrets. And then if you connect with me personally, I've got tons of links of like free resources and stuff like that. I've got my own podcast, Lighting for Profit. So just reach out to me. And if all that fails, just send an email to support@ryanleecoaching.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being here, Ryan. Thanks, audience, for joining us. We'll see you next week on another episode of Unleash Your Unique Genius.